Hey, how's it going? So what kind of wood is Diggler going to play with today? Today I have some 8/4 maple, and I have some 8/4 Jatoba, I think it's called. Anyways, this stuff is super dense, and it is fairly dark like walnut, maybe a little lighter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an end grain cutting board. Now the end grain cutting board that I've made it in the past, and this was the very first end grain cutting board I ever made. Now I thought it turned out really well, and at the time I was using a job site table saw. I did not have a drum sander, and I didn't have a CNC machine to flatten things, so it was definitely a challenge. I did have a planer, but of course end grain I didn't use it on that because, well, being new at woodworking at the time, it definitely would have exploded, and I still wouldn't use it on end grain anyways. But I'm going to leave a picture of it up in the top, that top corner right there of the cutting board that I originally made, and I'm going to remake it and see what, with better tools, how it will turn out. And also it should be much easier, much quicker than it once took me. So let's get busy. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to run the piece of Jatoba through the table saw to get a reference point to run against the fence. Now I'm going to set the angle finder on the blade and get it a true 45 degrees, or really close to a 45 as I can, because this cutting board has a lot of 45s in it. And you're going to see come in the just around the glue up the challenges that the 45s are going to also have. And yeah, there are a lot of 45s in this, but the cutting board in the end should look great. So another challenge that I had encountered was, how do I sand the pieces that are 45 degrees? So I made myself a little jig. As you can see here, I've just taken a piece of scrap wood, cut it into like a V block, you could say, and this way I can set the pieces that are cut at a 45 or a 90 degree, I guess, inside the jig and run them through the drum sander and have a nice flat piece when I'm done. So the next step in the process is going to be doing 3 pairs of glue ups. Now each of the pieces that I'm doing as a pair has a 45 on it. So as you're going to clamp down on the pieces, they're going to want to move away from each other. So the importance of using cauls, or in my case I'm going to use cauls plus some clamps to hold them as square as possible so they don't ride too far away, because the further away they ride from each other, the thinner each piece is going to be, and you don't want that. You'll see once I've got the pairs all done up how it's going to look. So here's a question for all you woodworkers out there. Do you like doing end grain cutting boards over edge grain? If so, leave me a comment down below. Also, let me know if you've done any kind of cutting boards with 45s like this, and how do you guys hold your wood together? Once I have the pairs of wood removed from the clamps a day later, I'm going to run them over down the CNC machine and I'm going to get them flat. The reason why I want them flat is when I do my final glue up, I'd like all my pieces to be 100% the same. You'll see once I do the glue up, I'm going to take a zoom from the side. You'll see the pattern that I'm looking to get. So after every major glue up, what I like to do is I like to let the cutting board sit for a full week. That way all of the moisture that's in the glue completely cures, or is evaporated, I guess you could say. If you've stuck with me this far into the build, do me a favor, subscribe to my channel. It does help me a lot, and I'd greatly appreciate it. And here's a side profile of the pattern I was talking about. Now I'm going to cross cut all the pieces. Also, what I do is I mark numbers on the pieces as I cross cut them. And it's also important that after you do a cross cut or a major cut like this, you'll want to glue it as soon as possible. And now a quick flip onto the end grain and a rotate of 180, and the pattern starts emerging. Now here I found out after the fact that I had an extra piece. I could have actually have made the cutting board a little longer had I realized the length, but it turns out that it is still the size of cutting board that I would normally make. Now when you look at the pattern, I could have either have made the pieces on the edges line up, but the diamonds in the middle wouldn't line up. So I like the diamonds in the middle lining up. And I also looked back at my old picture of the very first one that I made, and it turned out the exact same. I still had a little bit of offset on each side. Could that have been avoided? Maybe. I'm not sure. So personally, out of every cutting board that I make, I do like doing end grain cutting boards the best. They seem to be a little bit more challenging because there's a couple more glue ups and a couple more steps, but the end result is they also do look a lot more professional than an edge grain cutting board. Also, they do have a few benefits. If you're running a knife into the end grain, it'll absorb and somewhat heals itself. Versus if you're running a knife onto an edge grain, it does dull the knife and you do see knife marks. Now it's time to clean off all the leftover bits, flip it to the other side, make it nice and square. So off to the CNC table it goes to be flattened. Now I'm using the CA glue and tape method. If you haven't seen the video on how to make your own CA glue accelerator, I'm going to leave a link to it in the top right corner. It's very, very helpful. I'm also going to use the CNC machine to router in some handles. Before I get to sanding, I'm going to run it through the drum sander and get it nice and clean on the opposite side. Now it's off to the funnest, most best part of the build, sanding. We all hate it, but we do have to do it. Enjoy. Now when I do cutting boards, I like to use the random orbital sander to do my roundovers. It gives it a nice feel, and you don't really have to use a router table for it. I just like the edges a little bit broken, like as you can see here. Also, a tip for doing the handles is I'll use a 90-degree drill with a 2-inch foam pad and a 3-inch round piece of sandpaper. The favorite part of the build, the reveal, where you get to see all the grain that starts popping on the cutting board. You'll see the mineral oil gets it to look really, 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 really nice. After it comes out of the mineral oil, I'll put beeswax and mineral oil on it again, let it soak in also overnight, and then I'll buff it off like you'll see the next day. Then I'll come back to it. I will put feet in each corner. So what do you think? Doesn't it look great? Diggler out.